Got Big Al here. Vanna White in this shit.
Did you hear that?
Little xylophone. Isn't that what your kid's xylophone? Anyway, Big Al's here today, folks, and we are going to try to settle an age-old debate. Which is the best Old Forester Whiskey Row product? Got all the Whiskey Rows here today, and you haven't had all of these, have you?
I don't think so.
Have you had any of these?
Yes.
You've probably had one or two. I've had you have one or two.
I think I've had one of these.
This is quite possibly one of the best series of whiskey in existence. Old Forester knocked it out of the park. At least two of the three of these are some of my favorite bottles that I recommend to people constantly. And something else Old Forester did fantastic is not only are these some of the best whiskeys made, in my opinion, some of the best bourbons made, in my opinion, but they're also super available and reasonably priced. You know, a lot of times in today's world of whiskey where you get into this super allocated, tough to find shit and everybody's like selling a kidney to try to find a bottle of fucking Stag or whatever, you could find this shit in almost every liquor store, ranging from 40, 45 bucks up to maybe 60, depending on the bottle and where you get it. Old Forester they did a killer job. Two of these very often pop up in like my top 5, top 10 favorite bourbons list. So we're gonna do a little blind sampling. I personally think these two are going to come in first and second for me, and then these two are going to come in third and fourth. You don't know enough about it, but I could be wrong. Hell, maybe 1870 comes in first for me. For you guys that are in the whiskey, you guys are going to know this already, but for anybody that's new to whiskey, let's throw a little education down on a few of these bottles, just the baseline stuff. This is the Old Forester Whiskey Row Series, a series of whiskey Old Forester did, probably starting maybe 10 years ago, I guess, because I think the first bottle came out in like 2014, 2015, something like that, so we're creeping up on 10 years ago. The first one, 1870. This is original batch. These are small batch of barrels from 3 warehouses to replicate George Garvin Brown's batching process back in 1870, hence 1870. This was released in 2014. It is non-age stated, comes in at 90 proof, and you can usually get it, like I said, depending on where you buy it, it's usually between $40 and $50 a bottle, somewhere in there. Probably the easiest drinking of the bunch. Also the cheapest of the bunch. So yeah, man, this thing's coming up on its 10-year anniversary. Time flies when you're getting old. Next up is 1897. I probably have the least experience with this one, actually. 1897, this is the bottled and bond of the series. Small batch of barrels from one distilling season in the same year in a federal bonded warehouse, aged for a minimum of 4 years, all the normal bottle and bond requirements, so forth and so on. This one was released in 2015. It is 4 years age dated because of the bottle and bond process and a proof of 100. Usually you can get it around 50 bucks. And I don't know why, I've just historically not drank a ton of this one.
Watch it be your favorite.
I know, watch this end up number one. Next we have 1910 Old Fine Whiskey. I think could potentially be my favorite.
That one's like super popular, right?
It's really good. 1910 and 1920 are both super popular. I tend to lean toward 1910 most of the time. We'll see if that's what comes in number one for me. I freaking love this stuff. Again, small batch of barrels that have undergone a second barreling, emulating the production process as a result of a fire on the bottling line in 1910. So back in 1910, from the story I remember, they had a whole bunch of barrels they had emptied into a vat ready for bottling. And then there was like a fire in the warehouse and it screwed everything up. So then they had to re-barrel the stuff to get everything kind of straightened back out. Hence the first like double barreling kind of situation. So they are tried to emulate that here with a double barrel process. This one was released in 2018, is non-age stated with 93 proof. And this one usually 50 to 55-ish dollars, depending on where you're at. A real banger. And last, but certainly not least, 1920 Prohibition style. Again, one of the darlings of the whiskey community. People rave about 1910, 1920 all over the place. They're both very, very good. This one is small batch of barrels presented at 115 proof, representing the typical barrel proof of bourbon at that time during the Prohibition era. This one was released in 2015, is non-age stated. This one usually does run 55, 60 bucks in most areas. The higher proof, they get a little bit more expensive usually. But the great thing about it is they're just all super available. That is what I love about them. They're delicious. These two are arguably some of the best bourbons around, and you can find them anywhere. I'm not going to go on and on about this, but I don't understand why Old Forester can pump out this glorious nectar of the gods so easily and regularly, and all these other companies want to like pretend like it's fucking angel tears and you can only find it once every 6 months if you sacrifice your firstborn. Delicious, delicious stuff. So, like I said, we're going to blind taste these. All right, folks, before we get sipping on this lovely nectar of the gods, this would be a good time to stop and thank the sponsor of today's video, Zbiotics. Let's have some real talk for just a second here. As much as I love whiskey, it doesn't always make the next morning optimal. Especially with the older I get, I notice it takes less and less alcohol for me to feel a little off my game the next morning. The folks at Zbiotics aim to help with that issue. Zbiotics pre-alcohol probiotic is the world's first bioengineered probiotic. PhD scientists invented it to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's that byproduct, not dehydration, that makes you feel miserable the next day. Zbiotics produces an enzyme to help break this byproduct down. Just remember to drink Zbiotics before drinking alcohol, drink responsibly, and get a good night's rest to feel your best tomorrow. I'll admit, I was a little skeptical about this stuff at first, but after I put it through its paces with a few good pours of whiskey back at, I think it was our 4th of July get-together, I was sold. I even handed this stuff out to several of my friends at the get-together, and they were all surprised at how good they felt the next day. Just go to Zbiotics/Jeremy Sires or scan the QR code on the screen right now to get 15% off your first order when you use code Jeremy Sires at checkout. You can also sign up for a subscription using my code so you can kind of stay prepared all the time, no matter what time of the occasion is. Zbiotics is also backed by a 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied, they will refund your money, no questions asked. So it's a pretty no-risk situation, really. So head to zbiotics.com/Jeremy Sires and use code Jeremy Sires at checkout for 15% off. Thanks to the folks at Zbiotics for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. Whiskey time, bitches. We're back. We're ready to drink some whiskey.
All right.
And we got some random glasses. We don't know what's in what. Doing it blind, bitches. Doing it blind, honestly.
Doing it blind.
Doing it blind is like one of my favorites. It reveals the bullshit. Whoa, I almost tilted that bitch over. Do you see that? You hear this is the best one or this is the best one. So you get these preconceived notions, and this really fucking lays it all out there. Okay? Lays it all out.
Lays
there.
it out.
We're going to start here and go this is going to drive Allison's OCD crazy. We're going to start from this side and go to this side because for you guys,
For you
guys, this would be the normal.
For
like
you,
if you were reading. For us, it's backwards, and that
I
drives
will
Allison.
sacrifice my sanity.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Got some water? You want to wet your whistle before we get going?
Nah.
Squeegee out the old womb broom.
It's so disgusting.
Would you prefer cookie duster?
No, just mustache would be. I don't know.
First one. Now ours are in the same order, but like I said, we don't know what's in what glass. So, but they are in the same order, so we'll be drinking the same thing at the same time. At least in the beginning, until we start muggling shit up. Cheers.
Smells good.
It does smell good, doesn't it? It's that deep.
Smells like deep.
It's like deep, dark toffee wood, dark dried fruits. I wasn't gonna say red runts. I need you fucking with the red runts. It's like dark. No, this is like dark though.
I can get the red fruit though.
It's deep though.
Almost reminds me of like a port wine or something.
It's deep. It's deep. You get it? You got in there too deep.
Brian, I'm gonna be honest with you. That smells like pure gasoline.
Get you a schnoz full of that alcohol. That's good.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is gonna be tough until I have a couple of these, but I want to say that's 1910.
That's good.
I could be way off on that, but it's there's a dip. There's a dip, Rich.
Real good. And usually my first one, I have to go back to it because it's the first one, but
there's a deep richness to that one that reminds me of like a double-barreled kind of situation. I could be totally off on that. This is my first whiskey of the day, going in dry. Sometimes in the beginning you're off until you start.
You never want to go in dry.
You never want to go in dry.
Oh, no, not that. Just come on, you guys, let's do it.
Bad idea.
Never want to go full retard.
What?
That's from Tropic Thunder. It's a hilarious movie that you could never make today.
Clearly.
Oh God, you never seen Tropic Thunder?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, if you did that today, that would not work. Now see, that one, it smells very good. There's a nice fruitiness to it, but that one doesn't seem as, it's fainter.
It's not as deep.
Yeah.
What? I can't say deep.
Deep. It's not as deep. Up in them guts.
You've got a dirty, whorish mouth. That's what you have.
You haven't even been drinking yet. Oh,
Ready?
man. Yeah. That's good too. Got a little wood, a little bit of oak coming through in that one, but it's
Wood.
a little bit of wood. It's nice. I think that one's a little bit lower proof.
I feel like it's a little bit more woody,
It is a little more woody.
like more oaky or something. Toastiness, I feel like. I'm trying to think out of.
Out of those two, it would be tough. I think I'd go this
I
one.
think I would go this one.
I really like that one, and I do think it's got a nice. I think you said it right. I think it's a little woodier. It's got it tastes a little older for whatever reason. Like it tastes like it has a little more barrel influence.
Maybe that's the double barrel one.
Maybe for some reason the double barrel 1910. Sometimes I get hints of like tobacco. It's like a sweet pipe tobacco I get in that one sometimes. Chocolate, sweet pipe tobacco, brown sugar. That's what I normally get from 1910, and I was getting more of like a woody note in this one, which is why I'm.
1910 is the double barrel
Yeah,
one.
1910 is a double barrel. Some people like to mix 1910 and 1920 and call it 1915.
Clever.
Clever
You guys are.
Clever people in the whiskey community, you guys are.
This one smells real good too.
All these, here's the thing, it's all Brown Foreman, and Brown Foreman makes a fucking delicious juice. Brown Foreman makes good whiskey. So they're all gonna be good. And that's why I said I think this is one of my favorite series of whiskey that exists because none of these are bad.
No.
They're all good. Which now that I think about it, it's gonna be kind of hard.
I know.
Because usually you have that one that you're like,
Because they're different
Right.
profiles, really.
Well, they're all different profiles.
Well, you know what I mean.
There's usually the one that's like, oh, that's not very good. These are all delicious. Mmm. Wait, sweet? But then some heat.
Woo!
1920.
Yeah.
1920. It's got to be 1920.
Ding, 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 ding.
That one just hits you.
Woo!
It's sweet, and then it opens up in this like, pow! It goes pow in your
Like
mouth.
this.
Man, there's a lot of like
good.
innuendos in this video that I'm gonna stop.
That's my favorite so far.
That one's good.
this.
That one went.
So far.
That one said.
Yeah.
That one opens up.
Just as we were talking about, they're all good. No,
yeah.
This
Yeah. Yeah.
so far, it's this one for me.
Because it does. It kind of like, not to sound like.
it like
dumb,
explodes.
but it like blooms. It's like. Moving on. Last one. Cheers.
You didn't even smell it.
At this point, I'm just ready to drink. I smell like a.
What does that smell?
It's like old books. Here comes my weird notes. Like it reminds me if I walked into like an old library.
Yeah.
Leather. Like an old library with leather chairs and old books. Is that weird? I don't know why I got that.
That's good.
That's real good too. I mean, they're all good. I'm gonna say that's because that one has some heat.
I know you always try to guess.
Well, because it's always like, I challenge myself. A little bit of heat to that one, but the flavor is like the chillest. I don't feel like there's as much depth in that one as in the other three.
Was that just because we drank it right after this one?
Maybe. But for some reason, I'm wanting to say that's original batch, which is what, 1897? For some reason, in my head, I'm thinking, is it 1897? 1870. But it did have a little heat. Maybe that's the bottle. I don't know. It doesn't matter which one's which. This one, to me, it was very good. It was very sweet, very, traditional bourbon flavors you would expect, but it was the least complicated, the least
Complex.
complex. That's the word I was looking for. Good call, Big Al.
Go through them in order one more time.
Well, at this point, I'm probably going to be doing some time-lapsing for you folks.
Right.
So you don't have to watch us go back and forth 19 times. You're welcome. All right, fuck it. All right,
Which order did you? I went this way.
this way. This way.
What? Okay, you're like this way.
I went this way.
Okay, got it.
I went from this side to this side.
Crystal clear.
Over here. Here's the deal. I think this was the hardest
Yeah.
blind I've ever done. And it's
That's
funny.
why I had to just kind of like
And
make a call.
it's funny, when we got into this, I was like, oh, this video won't take long to shoot. It's only 4 whiskeys we're blind tasting. So it'll be, the ones where you have 6, 8, 10. We've done like 15 whiskeys. That gets tough because there's so many.
Yeah.
I was like, this would be easy. If this would have been 4 very different whiskeys,
It would have been real quick
it would have been real quick.
because there would be a standout.
And these are 4 very different whiskeys in the fact they're at different proofs and they're different aging processes, they're different barreling but they're all Brown Foreman, so they're all really fucking good. They're all Old Foresters, they're all really, really good. The first time through, I had kind of one opinion, and then the more I A-B'd them, the more confused I got.
Yeah, they're
Really,
all good.
I'm not super
You can't
happy.
go wrong.
I'm not super happy with this list,
Oh,
if I'm being honest. It's the best I can do.
I'm pretty good on my 1 and 2, and then these are kind of
I'm also.
like both.
This
Both
one
of
has a slight edge, I feel like. But honestly,
I don't think you went with the one that I thought you were going to go with.
but honestly, these two, I could flip-flop. And on any given day, one of these two could potentially outdo this one, depending on what kind of mood I was in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got your key over there?
Yep.
My number one.
Sure do.
My first place, or do you want to start at last place? Let's start at last place and go to first.
Yeah. Gotta like drum roll it.
Yeah. So my last place is C.
D. C is 1897.
1897. Okay, so Bottled in Bond was my least favorite, and yours was
What was mine?
D.
1910.
1910? Oh my God, that hurts my soul. That hurts my soul. I can't believe that came in last for you. Okay. All right, third place for me is D.
Mine's B. What is yours, D?
D.
1910.
1910 came in third for me.
No! God, please, no! No!
Oh my God. My God.
Mine was B, which is 1870.
1870 original
Isn't
batch.
that what yours?
No,
No.
1870 must have ranked up here for
Okay.
me, which is weird because that's a lower proof. Normally, I don't.
1870.
Well, let's just see what's second place. Second place for me was B.
Mine is C. B is 1870.
Okay, so 1870.
And what was mine? C, 1897.
So yours is Bottled in Bond. I think what this has is there's a real sweetness here that I was really enjoying.
That was my third.
Yeah.
We were all mixed up this
Yeah.
time.
It's tough because they're all.
But guess what?
Oh yeah. Number one
We
is
have the same.
is number one is A.
A, 1920.
1920.
We always have the same winner, though.
What's funny about that is I would have really thought, if you would have asked me before this what my ranking would have been, I would have said 1920, 1910, like tied for first. Probably the Bottled in Bond, and then maybe I would have said 1897 is, or 18. I always get it fucked up. 1870, my least favorite, because it's the lowest proof, and it's not quite as interesting.
1897 was the lowest proof. That was this
Yeah.
one on mine, I think.
Or 1870.
1870.
1870 is the lowest
That was
proof.
my third place.
But I've always liked 1870, but it's always been kind of like the least interesting to me. It doesn't have quite as much character as some of the other ones. So I'm surprised that it came. But like I said, I could have really flip-flopped these.
Excuses.
I mean, it is kind of an excuse, but before we even revealed anything and I knew, I did say that I could
Yes,
easily,
you did.
I could easily flip. It's easy and sweet. This one though does have a little more character, but this one was just hitting my palate right tonight, man. Hey, that's what I said. The blind reveals the
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah.
It takes out all your preconceived notions. It takes out everything, and it just shows you, hey, what's your mouth like tonight? But I tell you, the one thing that was clear,
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
1920 is, I mean, it is a little proofier. So if you're not big into like something that's got a little,
It's got some punch.
it's got some punch to it. But man, the second that's hit it, it's sweet, it's viscous, it has good mouthfeel.
It's good.
And then as soon as you swallow, it's like, I mean, the flavor just. If you have a whiskey collection, you should have all of these.
Yeah.
If you're just starting a whiskey collection, this would be a really good place to start because you can't go wrong, in my opinion, with any of these.
Yeah.
On
I
any,
agree.
On any given night, if we reblinded these, I bet you the rankings would come up different.
Except for this one.
Yeah, that one was.
This one would win.
That one was a little bit of a standout, but I bet you
That's
these
a standout
rankings.
for me, but these would probably change. Yeah.
It's because
for
they're
sure.
all really good. They're all super available. They're all super affordable, and they're all bangers. And I mean, at a max of $50 to $60 a bottle, what you're looking at maybe $240 for all four.
Yeah.
And that's a hell of a start to a whiskey collection.
Heck yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyway,
Yeah.
that's
The
how
show.
the cookie crumbled tonight, ladies and gents. So answer the age-old question. What is the best whiskey roasting?
1920.
According to tonight's video in the Cyrus household, 1920 reigns supreme. Before we get out of here for this one, though, we do have to do our giveaway for last week, and then we will talk about what is going to be the giveaway for this video. Last week, we were giving away a Whisky, which is one of these guys right here. It's even got whiskey in it because I had it back here shooting B-roll. And go. And tonight's winner is Brent Colby. Brent, Thank you for having a normal name, buddy. No offense to everybody else, but I can pronounce your name, so I don't feel like a dumbass. Half the time we do these giveaways, I'm like, sound like an idiot over here trying to pronounce names. So Brent, congratulations, my friend. Thank you for following. Thank you for being a subscriber and commenting and liking and all those things. Brent says, I hope you enjoyed all the pours after the tasting. Hashtag cold whiskey, hashtag whiskey. He was saying that because the video we did this on was the video where we were testing all the different cooling methods for whiskey. And Brent, no, sadly enough, some whiskey went to the whiskey gods on that one, because by the time I was done, some of that shit was so watered down because I waited till the very end. So like the ice cubes were melted and it was too watery. So these are the sacrifices I make for you guys and for science. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. It's a pretty cool video.
We'll link it.
We'll link it over here, I think. All right, Brent. Well, if you would, reach out to us, send us an email at the email address you will find in the About tab on the YouTube, on our YouTube page. Send us an email and let us know, and we will send one of those whiskeys your way because we're going to need to get your address and stuff. So reach out to us and we will send one. All right, for this week's giveaway, let's do another whiskey because it's a whiskey video. We've been doing lots of whiskey videos. Promise next week's gonna be something. Next week's gonna be something other than whiskey though. I can't do too many videos in a row because of my ADD. So next week it'll be something different. But for next video for giveaway, we'll do a whiskey, and rules are as always. You have to be a subscriber to both channels, both this channel and the After Hours channel, over where we do weekly live streams and probably some pew content for too long.
And you guys, come join us on the live streams.
For show though, we have
every
a good time.
Wednesday.
It's a good crowd.
8 p.m. Eastern.
Good crowd of people. Lots of fun. We have lots of fun on the
time.
live stream. So you got to be subscribed to both channels. You have to. We just revamped our website and we have a newsletter now. We will not like spam you and send you 80 million emails or give away your information or anything like that. Probably only going to be sending out 1 or 2 emails a month, but you have to sign up for the newsletter. So all you got to do is go to our website and click on the link and sign up for the newsletter. Smash that like button. That's one of the requirements. And what's the one? Oh, and then hashtags. So this week, let's do hashtag
Whiskey Row.
Whiskey Row. And we'll do hashtag
Whisky.
Free Whisky again. Because we're giving away another whiskey next week. So hashtag Whiskey Row, hashtag Free Whisky, sign up for the newsletter, like the video, subscribe to both channels, do all the damn things, and you will be entered into a drawing that we will perform in next week's video. As always, though, let's do a quick scammer warning that we do in every single video. We do announce the winners live. There are scammers down below that are notifying people. If you don't hear us say your name, you didn't win. Don't fall for the scams. That wraps this one up. Big Al's got to work in the morning, so we can't keep her up drinking too late.
Gotta go watch Suits.
She does. She's all about the Suits. Suits is, I'm ahead of her. I've only got the last season.
Trying to catch up.
She's trying to catch up. When we get to season 8, we're going to watch season 8 together. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to smash that like button. That always helps us out. If you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so. We'd love to have you on board. Hope everybody is having a fantastic week.
And we'll see you in the next video.
What the fuck? That was like the most delayed shit ever. What is going on? Oh, man. I can't believe 19. The fucking blinds don't lie. You know what I'm saying?
They don't lie.
They don't lie.
The blinds don't lie.
These hips don't lie.
My hips don't lie. That's for damn sure.
These hips don't lie.
That's for damn sure.